Hey everybody, I hope you are doing well. I am Afefe with Touch by Tarot, and I'm here to do our pick a card reading, our monthly pick a card reading for the full moon. Okay, I always check in with you all and do that for sure for the new moon and the full moon. So tomorrow, I'm taping this on Sunday, July 2nd. Tomorrow, July 3rd, we have a full moon in Capricorn, you all. And this is a really cool energy because interesting dynamic energy because it's the polar opposites of Capricorn and Cancer. The sun is still in Cancer, full moon is in Capricorn. So you're talking about with Capricorn, we're thinking about, things that are very practical, our ambitions, our goals, being business oriented, task oriented, ruled by Saturn, right? That taskmaster, that, stern teacher, as it were. But really, what Saturn does in a beautiful way is it helps us, give us the energy to stick to see things through when we have our goals, our plans. On those days that we just feel like we don't have it, it makes us dig a little deeper because we do think about the mountain goat. We have those things, those elevations that we want to reach, those milestones that we want to reach. So that's that energy. Cancer, on the other hand, is all, that watery, Capricorn, I should say, being earthy, right? Earthy stuff, material concerns. Here comes Cancer, all watery, lovey-dove, family and the home, making sure the home is taken care of, being very nurturing, being very, it's okay, it's going to be all right, ruled by the moon, okay? So there's that tenderness, that ability to just take care of what you love and those you love and to relish and enjoy being in the home environment, all right? So, if you want to think about it this way, Capricorn goes out and makes the bacon and then Cancer cooks it at home, right? But I also thought about when I was in meditation this morning and preparing to tape for you all, what came to me, Spirit gave to me was, what is your labor of love? Because labor, relating very much to the taskmaster Saturn Capricorn, right? What are we doing? What are our goals, our ambitions, our purpose in life, what we feel motivated to do, and labor of love. Who we love, how we want to be loved, how we deserve to be loved, our family structures, all of those things. So I've got 3 piles in front of me. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I hope you like and subscribe. Thanks, absolutely. If I could get my words out, I'm excited. Absolutely thank you to all of you new subscribers to my channel. Those of you who have booked readings with me. Remember, my readings are in Eastern Standard Time. I appreciate all of you. So let's get in. Here's a 3-stack pick a card. I do not see these cards. I spread them and I pray and meditate over them, cleanse the decks before I start. I will be reading from the Medicine Woman Oracle, the Oracle of the 7 Energies, the Zodiac Tarot, and the Angel Wisdom Tarot for those of you who read or collect decks and may be interested in that. All right. So the way you're going to pick these 3 piles, I've got, me and my 1,000 pieces of jewelry, right? So pile number 1 will be if you are attracted to this. I'm actually wearing its sister stone today. It's a crystal, but they did something funky with the coloring. So it's like this turquoise and magenta crystal. That's pile number 1. Pile number 2 will be this beautiful 4-leaf clover, turquoise. That'll be pile number 2. And pile number 3 will be this incredible bronze and citrine, sort of a Coptic piece. All right, so see which one of those vibes with you. You may get some messages from more than one pile. Just go with whatever your intuition is. That's why I love doing the pick-up cards, and a lot of you enjoy it as well. This is your reading. I'm the one interpreting these cards for you, but this is you and your spirit guides deciding which message really that you needed to hear, all right? Makes you feel more empowered, and I'm all about that, always wanting to do that. All right, you all. So first, let's go on in. Pile number 1, those of you who chose the magenta and turquoise colored crystal. All right. What is your labor of love? All right. What is your labor of love and how you will be impacted, what you can expect for this full moon in Capricorn while we are in Cancer season? Let's go. You have the 6 of Wands, the Star. You have, oh, how beautiful is she? You have the 9 of Pentacles. You have the Magician. Oh, look at you. You have Panthera, the precious and rare. Rare, aren't you though? Wow, labor of love. You have a tender embrace with your precious and rare. The royal you. It's a powerful message for you all, pile number one. And then spring, a time for renewal and to step into uncharted territory. We'll get to that in a moment, because I think that's what they're saying going forward. That's what you're going to do. All right. So your labor of love, pile number one. Two things I see happening here. One is to begin to embrace your gifts, to understand who you really are. And that is a labor of love. It is about self-love. It is about, for those of us who necessarily maybe in our childhood or early on in life, we didn't feel as nurtured as we should have been. And so that labor of love is the care and understanding and compassion and grace that we develop toward ourselves, and sometimes recognizing that we didn't even know we needed it. I'm saying that because let's go here. Let's start with the royal you. So this is you, this is spirit showing you who you really are. And the labor of love is beginning to actually embrace the royal you. Sometimes we tend to shy away from anything like that, because it kind of sounds like we're being pompous, or, we're operating from a perspective of ego. But that's not what it's saying here. It's saying understand, what does royalty? Royalty is respected. Royalty is looked up to. Royalty is about being true and authentic, and understand not having a problem with stepping into the spotlight, with owning who you are. That's what this is talking about. The royal you, the real you, the part of you that deserves to be seen and be known and understood. Now it comes with the magician. And the magician says, okay, if I'm the royal me, then my labor of love has to do with gathering the resources and the tools that I need to call it like I see it, to be able to manifest and co-create with the universe the reality of standing in the truth of the royal me, standing in the truth of me being my best self, right? And not shying away from that, not being timid about your needs and your wants. Think about, again, royalty. I love that metaphor because it says, walk into a room, own your space, own your desires, own your ambition, full moon in Capricorn. And this magician card is very appropriate for that, because the magician is about getting the work done. The magician says, on a very day-to-day level, the magician says, I want to bake a cake. I want the best cake ever. I want the cake that I want, and that's going to taste really good to me. And so the magician goes and gets prepares the best batter, icing, decorations, etc. It's about gathering what you need in order to produce an effect that you want to co-create with the world. And what you are co-creating is your highest self, is the self that not highest self in terms of who you deal with as a guide, that extension of yourself that is divine, but your higher self that lives and walks and breathes in this earthly realm, full moon in Capricorn. A labor of love. It is the work that you're putting in to become you. And this, I have to do these two together. Different decks, you know how I'm doing it. And it says, tender embrace. Notice, I'm going to hold that up. I hope you can see that. Beautiful elephants, right? Tender embrace. And the precious and rare. And I think for some of you, the labor of love is having to understand that sometimes take stock of when you have experienced that type of embrace. Hopefully you have, at least at some point in your life. And if not, that magician and that royal you, the acceptance of that is going to pull that energy toward you. A tender embrace and a rare experience. Because at this stage of your life, if you were drawn to this pile, number one, that's really where you are. You don't want the ordinary. You're not about the day-to-day, just being content with survival, just being content with, okay, I did that, check the box next to it, job well done. That's fine. That's all well and good. Capricorn energy, okay? But the Cancerian part of that says, but I want it to mean something. I want it to feel like something. I want my achievements, for me to look at them and actually feel stirred in my heart, in my mind, in my spirit, that this was good, that this was precious and rare. You need more of those experiences. And there is a tender embrace if you, again, think back upon it, and so that you can summon more of that. Because sometimes we got to know what it is that we're aiming for in order to help our chances of bringing it into existence and repeating it. All right. So if you haven't had that experience, it is coming toward you because of this your ability to begin to say, hey, you know what? Square your shoulders a little bit, lift your chin a little bit, and say, this is what I want to create for myself. I want a precious and rare, tender embrace by life, by my family, by my home. When you walk into your home, for some of you it may be, look around at what you have. Does it make you feel warm and loved and safe and comforted in all those Cancerian ways, right? And if it doesn't, if it's cluttered, if it's junky, if things have gotten a little out of hand, maybe that's what some of this magician energy is about too. Taking care of that, right? Creating a different space so that the royal you really shows through. Now, the Nine of Pentacles you got here. And I love to talk about the royal you. What a beautiful figure, of this woman who has Nine of Pentacles, full moon in Capricorn, earth energy, who has plenty. You all, pile number 1, if you're in business for yourself, you have an opportunity to definitely up the ante. And the up in the ante is by understanding you do deserve the success. You've worked hard for it, and you are working hard for it. It is coming for you. The Nine of Pentacles usually indicates some sort of material gain. Hopefully it's money, ka-ching, ka-ching. We're never going to say no to that. But it is also gain in terms of thinking about Cancer. It is also about family. It is about people who support you, people who can lead you toward the greater gain, okay? The material wealth. It is about the clientele. It is about the knowledge. It is about, people coming to workshops for you, or you attending workshops and networking in ways that benefit you. Beautiful. And walking in there just like that. And gender doesn't matter. Male, female, non-binary, however you identify. But it's about putting on your best and showing up as if you already have achieved what it is you're going after. It is about not being afraid to walk in a room and they say, be responsible for the energy you bring. This is you bringing good energy into a room, energy of deserving. And remember, you got the star as well. So this is, this full moon in Capricorn is definitely propelling you toward your future, the future you, the part of you. Your labor of love is to not give up hope and vision, magician and the star, the vision that you have for what the possibilities are and what life could be. It is, and it needs to be more structured because we're thinking about Capricorn. So it needs to be not dreamy, not just, oh, this would be nice, but more structured. This is what I would like. And here are some possible ways, star, hope, moving toward it. Here's some possible ways that I can do it. I could see this happening for me and then begin to make those moves. And finally, you have a Six of Wands, pile number 1, victory. You will get there. You will experience more. Your labor of love will pay off. And to some extent, I feel like it's already been paying off for some of you. And hopefully you feel that vibe. You feel the recognition of that in this reading. There is, it may not be the crest of it. You may not have gotten to the Mount Everest of it. But there are incremental signs and situations in your life where you realize that your work is paying off. Who you are today, the work you've done on yourself, the faith that you've maintained, the energy that you continue to generate. You do feel and see the results of that in your life. And hopefully it has produced some tender embraces, okay? If for some reason, again, if it has not, if you're feeling kind of withdrawn from that, or you're not having the experience of that you like in your business, in your home, in the ways that you will feel supported and nurtured and accepted and comforted. The labor, that Capricornian energy that you have been putting in, Spirit is giving you a great big shout to say, guess what? It is in motion. And so keep at it. Keep defining it. Keep using that magician energy to say, okay, you know what? Maybe I could do a little bit more of this, a little bit less of that. Maybe I can cut out an hour of television a day so that I can apply myself with my reading, my studies, my journaling. Those kinds of tweaks that you can do for yourself, and it will make a tremendous difference in you getting toward this place of this Nine of Pentacles. Having more of what it is that you desire and you deserve. And also for some of you, because of this royal you that we got, this is you becoming more in a physical sense of that term. Becoming more of yourself, what you feel like this is my life purpose. If you've been stuck, or feeling unsure, doubtful, this is more of you actually having an understanding of what brings you joy, what you are here to do, what your labor of love is, something that you'd still like to achieve. And I don't, whether you are 25 or 75, there is still, you got breath in your body, and you're still able, you're still healthy, then there's plenty for you to achieve. And Saturn, Lord Karma, and Saturn is here to say, I'm here for you. I will help you do it. But a lot of it has to do with you recognizing that you deserve it. You recognizing that you deserve to be nurtured. You deserve to have a tender embrace. And sometimes I was talking with someone some months ago, and I said, hey, and I do this. I have to remind myself to do it. And I'm reminded in this moment, hug yourself. You may feel a little awkward at first, but hug yourself. Remind yourself you are strong, you're healthy, you're getting it done. Do that for yourself, all right? And your final card we had for you was spring, a time for renewal and stepping into uncharted territory. That basically sums up the labor that is still in front of you. All right, at this time, it is a time for renewal. It is a time for you to be able to take that deep breath and say, okay, this got done. I can put a check mark next to it, take satisfaction in that. This is still something I'd like to do, experience, have. And this is the renewal, uncharted territory. I may have to go about it a different way. I may have to move. I may have to travel. I may have to expand my friendship circle. I may have to take a class. I may have to, begin to take better care of my health so I feel more motivated to do it. That's uncharted territory. All right? I hope you felt that. Beautiful reading, pile number 1. And finally, I'm going to give you a crystal that will help you in this labor of love, and that will help you during this energy of the full moon. Remembering too that a full moon is going to carry out for a couple of weeks, and sometimes up to 6 months you'll see the effects play out. All right, so a crystal for you, pile number 1, is courage bloodstone. Wow, I really, that's powerful, because it takes courage to stand up and be who you really are. When we do that, sometimes I think about it even when I decided to start this channel. I knew there were a gabillion other really good readers out there. So it was like, well, what are you going to offer that's different or distinct, Afefe? I didn't know that I had the answer to that, but I knew I was a darn good reader. And I know that I love to help people and connect with people and help empower people. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to get on here. What do I have to lose? Because I don't want to look back and say, darn, I should have tried it, right? That's what you have there, pile number 1. Courage. You have to have the courage to stand up and claim being this royal you. The courage. So if you know bloodstone, if you don't, look it up. And if you have some, maybe pull it out, hold it in your hands when you're meditating or journaling, begin to work with it. If you don't have it and you don't necessarily feel called to get it, just get a picture of it. Just examine a picture of it and see how it pings you. But bloodstone will help you. All right? All right, pile number 1. Let me know what you thought. Let me know how that, how that went for you. I'd love to hear from you. And enjoy that energy. Okay. Is that? All right, let's move on now to pile number 2. Those of you who were drawn to the turquoise 4-leaf clover. All right, let's see what's happening. What is your labor of love and what you can expect during this full moon in Capricorn? We start out with the 4 of Pentacles. We have the Chariot. We have the 4 of Cups. So there's a couple of fours going on here. If you've been seeing that number, if 4 somehow resonates with you, if you were born in, 4 April, or on the 4th, or 44, anything with 4s may resonate with some of you. And we have the 7 of Cups. Ooh, you all have a lot of choices going on with that labor of love. We have no good thing will be withheld. Ooh, that might be a message you needed to hear during this full moon in Capricorn. No good thing will be withheld, pile number 2. And you have into me I see. Wow. And you have a bear totem. Retire into your den to find answers. That's a beautiful Cancerian, talking about the sun is in Cancer while we got this full moon in Capricorn. That bear comforting energy is amazing right here. All right. Some of you, if you chose this pile, you are feeling a little limited. You may be feeling a little stuck. You may be feeling a little tentative about what's possible, because your first card that I saw was the 4 of Pentacles. And the 4 of Pentacles doesn't necessarily mean deprivation. Doesn't mean that life is hard or that you're suffering terribly in some way. I certainly hope not. But it can mean that you're not sure where your next thing is coming from. You're not sure about your increased money or how long the money you have will last. So you're really cautious about that. It could be where you're not having the fullest experience of life right now because maybe you have not socialized as much, or you're still a little tentative about broadening your social world. It could also mean within your family dynamic, you've learned there's some conditioning here. Be careful. You never know what's next. Sometimes there is a lack mentality that can be passed down through generations. Okay, so some of you may be dealing with a little bit of that, and what that has done for you or done to you is in your emotional life. Going back again, a labor of love. There, you've got both the 7 of Cups and the 4 of Cups. Both of these cards have to do with making choices to do and live and be in ways that are going to make you feel better, are going to make you feel good. But there's a tentativeness that you may be feeling where sometimes you're so, we can get so caught up in wanting to make sure that we make the right choice that we wind up either not making any choice at all, or we assume that there's going to be disappointment waiting for us once we've made a choice. We're always waiting for, the proverbial other shoe to drop. And that very often is an energy that comes in that 4 of Cups. Because it's not that you don't look, I'm going to hold this up again. I just saw it. There's a beautiful angel, right behind him. And he has no awareness of it. He has no awareness. And so for some of you, I think this is your spirit guides, standing there saying, look, we are here to help you. We are here to we recognize that you have options, and maybe you don't feel as confident in those options. You don't know if you choose something, does that mean something else will go away? And oh man, I should have done this. What they're saying is, you won't know until you actually put something in motion and get the ball rolling. And don't get so caught up in a pity party or an inability to step outside of rerunning the old tapes. For some of you, I think that's what's happening. You may be, before you can move forward on something, before you can give yourself permission to try something new or different, there's already that, well, I tried it before and it didn't work. Or, the last time I did this, that's what happened. Or when I dated, look at what happened with that one. We can get so caught up in comparing what is possible in the present to what has happened in the past that boom, it just starts to cancel itself out and we get stuck. Your spirit guides are here to say this labor of love that you are undergoing at this time in your life is about pushing through that. And when we talk about pushing through, nothing helps us better than the Chariot. All right? Ruled by Cancer, by the way. All right? Very clear message for you, pile number 2. ruled by Cancer. And this Chariot says, no matter the obstacles of the past, no matter the obstacles of doubt, no matter the obstacles of conditioning based on, I don't know. I don't know. I think I can have it. I see other people have it, but it doesn't always work for me. Obstacles of that. And Spirit says, it's time for us to move past that. It is time for us to literally move past that and talk about labor of love. This is a card of activity. This is a card where you do something about what you want, where you get up, you go outside, you go someplace different, you accept the invitation, you accept the invite to something social, or you try the new exercise class, or you go to your doctor and you take new supplements to strengthen your body, whatever it is, what your situations are, but this is go time. This is go time, all right? It's a beautiful thing. And I always say this when I see the Chariot, and can't say it enough. I'll repeat it again. Always keep in mind when you're dealing with the Chariot, yes, you are the person that's responsible for taking the action, but you will never go alone. Just like you saw that angel standing behind the person in that Four of Cups, the people or the entities, the energies that help run that carriage, that help give you the fuel, the gas, the map, the money to get there, that's your spirit team. That's your ancestors, your spirit guides, your spirit team. So you are not alone in this effort. It may be on you in your physical body, responsible for making some decisions to make the moves, but you are not out there carrying the load on your own. You are given assistance, and you will be given assistance in the future. All right? No good thing will be withheld. What a great time for us to go ahead and put that energy out there. No good thing will be withheld from you. That is a very strong message. Your labor of love, and what will give you, pile number 2, more motivation to stay at it, to stick with it, to go ahead and make the choice and trust yourself. No good thing will be withheld. So if you do make a choice, if you try something and it does not work, guess what? Beautiful thing about a 7 of Cups is there's many, many options. And chances are, the options may shift a little bit, they may change a little bit, but you're not going to run out of options, right? You're not going to run out of options. So if you try something and, you make a decision to go in a certain direction, buy something, invest in a business, try a new computer, try, whatever it is that you are building in the momentum, thinking about Capricorn, okay? The labor, what is it you want to achieve at this time in your life? Make the choice and get it going, and keep this should be your mantra, right? Let's talk about affirmations. This could be a great mantra for you all. Pile number 2. No good thing will be or shall be withheld. No good thing shall be withheld from me. Go ahead and tack that on to the end of it, all right? And then we have into me I see. And what's happening there is some of you are not really appreciating your depth. You understand very much logically, Capricorn energy. You understand, organizationally, how you do things. You know how you do things. You know your preferences. You know your favorite colors. You know what you like to eat. You know what works for you in many respects in your life, okay? But there is more to you. There is more to you. And so part of what it can allow you to make these choices and decisions is to recognize that there is into me I see, or into you shall see during this full moon. There is something about yourself that needs to be revealed. There is something about the labor of love. Oh, okay. Your life has been a labor of love. Some of you have survived and had to regroup behind very, very painful things. And that has been your labor of love. So into me I see, Spirit is going in both directions. On the one hand, asking you to take an evaluation of just how much love you have had to pour into yourself to recover from, to distance yourself from certain people, places, things, experiences that were harmful. And that was a labor of love. As painful as it may have seemed, as horrific or traumatic as it may have seemed, your decision to choose you over whatever that was a labor of love. All right? I hope you receive that. And you have a bear totem, which says retire into your den to find answers. Notice how, again, different decks, you know how I work. Notice how complementary these two messages are, pile number 2. On the one hand, you had into me, I see, that time of inner reflection and self-appreciation. And then you have return to your den to find answers. That bear medicine, those two. This is, your labor of love at this time is very centered upon yourself and not being selfish, or sometimes being selfish can be healthy as long as it doesn't mean you don't take others' needs into account. You don't make it all about you, but you take that time to feed your own vessel, right? You can't feed people from an empty plate, or you can't help someone else's thirst when there is nothing in your cup. All right? So pile number 2, this is a beautiful time for you to really give yourself grace and give yourself gratitude. That's what I'm hearing. Give yourself gratitude for what you were able to do despite hurdles. Going back to the Chariot, despite hurdles, despite setbacks, despite obstacles, despite doubt or fears that you had to conquer and face. And so now this labor of love is ready to take you into another experience, but it's going to be, that experience comes because you are ready to choose it. And for some of you, you just haven't identified it yet. You know what the possibilities are, but you haven't said, ping, that's the one. You got to channel your inner Capricorn and say, that's the one. That's the one thing that I'm going to do next. And then I can tackle the next after that. But this is the one. Narrow your focus by going in, giving yourself credit, take stock of where you are, and then you'll be ready to take that next step and make that choice. And remember, in that Chariot, you will not have to go it alone. You got a fuel card that you can, recharge anytime you want by your spirit guides, okay? Keep that in mind. And also, I'm going to give you a crystal that will be helpful to you during this time. And you got male power, pyrite. Woo! This is also, pyrite is a really good money or wealth and abundance energy as well. Sometimes it's called fool's gold because it carries the essence of gold. All right. So male power, and this has to do with understanding your quote unquote entitlement to being able to choose, to take advantage of the choices, to move on and be ready to take on that next project, that next dream, that next goal, that next hobby even. But it's what builds you. It's what builds your personal portfolio, to use a Capricornian term, right? Male power. Because this is, when we see masculine, the divine masculine energy, it is go time. It is make it happen. It is having the belief, the fundamental belief in your strength and your wherewithal to be able to have and do what this thing is that you've been thinking about. Or to narrow it down, to narrow down that focus and finally say, this is it. I'm going in that direction and I'm on my way. That's the divine male power. That's it for you. So get some pyrite. If you already have it, it's time to pull it out and keep it near. If you don't have it and you may not feel called to go get it, you may not be into crystals that way, but just look it up. Look up some of the definitions of pyrite. Get you some pictures of it. Just kind of, vibe with it for a minute and it'll benefit you. Okay? All right, pile number 2. That is your labor of love, especially during this full moon in Capricorn while we are in Cancer season. All right, so let's move on now to pile number 3. Those of you who were drawn to the bronze and citrine Coptic cross. Let's see. I need a sip of water. All right, your labor of love, pile number 3. We have the Four of Wands. Ooh, what a beautiful card in relation to that topic, labor of love. Wands is fiery, passionate, loving, and a Four of Wands is the commitment to do it. It is marriage. It is buying the home, thinking about Cancer energy. It is, having the home, celebrating life. It's birthdays and milestones reached. Beautiful card. You have the King of Pentacles. All right now. We have Judgment, renewal. We have Strength. Ooh. All right, pile number 3, you all better come through with the energy. We have a sweet paradox of empowering grace. There's reflection, and with a beautiful hummingbird, I'll show all these to you. With a beautiful hummingbird there's a reflection of how good life can be, or how good it is. Oh, it's like right there, like you can taste it. It's right there. Broken open, which is that labor of love. You have had to learn how to receive. Aha. That's a message coming through for some of you. You pulled this pile number, if you were drawn to this pile number 3, your comfort with receiving is coming through strongly. That's a message for you. Some of you may be like, I have no problem receiving. Where's the gifts? Okay. But others of you may feel, a little like, oh, wow, for me, there's that little tendency to kind of shy away a little bit. And this reading is not about shying away from nothing. It's like, I'm here for it. Let's go. And you have finally a sisterhood. Initiate a new sister's adventure. Now, again, when I read, I don't read gender specific. So if you are a man or you identify as male, this is really about camaraderie. This is about your tribe. This is about, having your people around you. Okay. Your labor of love, pile number 3. It's like you are really ready to reap the rewards of your labor of love. And meaning how you have lived your life, how you have treated people. And again, I think that goes back to you being able to receive, because I think you have been tremendously generous, pile number 3. And generosity is not always money or gifts. Generosity is, being that person, that shoulder to cry on, or that person who's willing to listen and show up for others. I see a lot of loyalty in you. And I see that you have really poured yourself into things, into people in ways that it is now payback time for you. That's what Spirit is saying here. It's payback time for you. Your labor of love, it's like, it's time to cash that check. Whereas a lot of us, there's a labor of love where we still are working. We're in the midst of discovering what that work is. But for you all, there's a level of achievement where you have already laid the groundwork and done the work. I say that as well because even though this card calls it renewal in this deck, this represents judgment. And judgment, I'm going to read the message for you. It says, reviewing the past with compassion and forgiveness, time to head in a new direction, clarity on your life purpose, and in your heart, you know what to do. This is, again, your past is being put in perspective. Spirit is like, check, check, and check. You've done it. You've been there. You've done that. The Capricorn side of you, I feel like some of you have already made great achievements. You had the home. You've had travel. You've experienced. You've had great life experiences. Lots of achievements, and lots of things where people would go, "Oh my gosh, this is an incredibly successful life that you're living." However, there's that part of you that still, for all that you've done, given, done some more and given some more, now it's time for you to enjoy and reap the rewards of that. We have strength. And so this is where you have had to endure your labor of love. What a powerful card in relationship to our topic, because with strength, it is about persistence. It is about endurance. It is where you may have had to face, as many of us do. I think that's part of our earthly journey, is we don't get out of here without facing challenges, facing obstacles, facing things that feel overwhelming to us. And somehow, some way, we manage to pull through. That's what happened and is happening. Okay? And Spirit is here to remind you of that, pile number 3. You pulled through. And where others could have crumbled, where others may not have understood how to deal with that bigger thing, whether this was an illness, whether it was, termination from a job or a job that went out, whether it was a business that went under, whatever you may have experienced, where you had to dig deep and summon deep and say, I understand this is a big thing that I'm dealing with, but you did it with charm, you did it with grace, you did it with optimism, you did it with being creative and saying, okay, I know there's got to be a way to do this. I know that my healing is possible. I know my body is strong. I know that I deserve love. I know that even though this idiot may have not been the one, and it was time to move on, I know that there are still good people out there, right? All those sorts of situations that we encounter in life. And that's what strength gives us, is that ability to endure and keep going. Now, broken open. Oh, didn't you get that way though? Broken open. You understand that feeling, pile number 3. That overwhelming stuff and all of those life experiences involved in this judgment renewal card, that's what it was doing. It was breaking you open. It was showing you, what's that saying? And I think it may even be a book or a movie, the astonishing light of your own being. Right? The astonishing light of your own being. Pile number 3, somehow, some way, you have seen that. And if you saw it before and something has happened to help you, where you've sort of lost track of that, here we go back again. This labor of love during this full moon in Capricorn is bringing you full circle so that you remember who you are and you stand in who you are and you allow yourself to receive the gifts that you so well deserve at this time in your life. King of Pentacles. Let's double down on it. Why don't we? Because the King of Pentacles lacks for nothing. The King of Pentacles is one who has worked hard. Talk about Capricorn. Someone who has worked hard, who has made good choices, who has invested, who has saved, who has a beautiful home to show for it, this full moon in Capricorn while we're in Cancer. So the home is important, who is utilized, and you have utilized, many of you, your resources so that you do see it in tangible ways around you. I'm feeling for some of you, it has even been, your artwork or things that you have invested in that you want to pass down to others. It could be investments. It could be real estate. It could be, mementos, a grandmother's purse or dress or gown. It could be things that have value. That's what's happening here. You understand value. You understand the nature of what is valuable, and you have accumulated that. The Four of Wands is now it's time to celebrate it. It's time to celebrate it. Not just look at it as okay, these things are around me and yeah, they make me feel good, but celebrate it. And the way that you celebrate it, that's where that they're calling it a sisterhood, but I'm going to call it a tribe. Okay. However that tribe, in whatever form that tribe shows up for you. But the way you celebrate it is to cultivate your tribe, gather your tribe, find some excuse to have people over for dinner, or to meet at a park and go walking, or to go to a beach or a lake, or take a vacation, gathering people around you. It is time for you, pile number 3. Your labor of love is to allow yourself to celebrate your achievements, celebrate who you are, celebrate all the good that you've done, all that you have worked for, and all that you will continue to enjoy as long as you stay open. As long as you stay open. As long as you are willing to experience more. Okay? And that is where we have here a sweet paradox of empowering grace. That's such an interesting term there. And I think what they're saying, we've got the hummingbird always, going after the nectar. And there again, it is you. Think about you as that hummingbird, sipping from the nectar of the flowers, the nectar of life, enjoying the things that life has to offer as rewards for everything that you have done. Really. I am so excited for you in this reading, because it really is so often when we think about where we are, and also very much with Capricorn. I'm a sun in Capricorn. Capricorn's my sun sign. So I relate definitely to always, no matter what you do, there's always something more. It's like, well, I did, yeah, but now I want to do this. There's that driven, that ambition, that being goal oriented. But for you all, pile number 3, Spirit is saying, that's all well and good. Nobody's going to, say don't have goals and don't keep doing great things, or don't keep dreaming and imagining what's next, in your life journey. By all means. But there's a time and a season for everything. And this full moon in Capricorn, for you all, pile number 3, it is time to partay. It is time to take stock and look around and say, wait a minute, I've done these things, and I deserve to have some fun. I deserve to let it up a little bit. I deserved, it's okay to spend a little bit of that money. You're not going to break the bank. You're not going to do anything foolish, but it is about, having what you deserve and treating yourself to a moment. It is time for that. Okay. I love that. I mean, and I love the idea that in this reading, Spirit came through, because sometimes we forget, and especially when we are living in a world where so much tragedy, so much tension, so much turmoil, that we almost can feel a little guilty about saying, woohoo, what are you doing, tonight? I'm having a party. You know what I mean? We can feel a little guilty about that, because like, well, how can you party Russia's still trying to do what, trying to go at war with Ukraine, and Ukraine's people are having to come back and tell them basically, we're going to kick your butt. You keep it up. There's so many things, local politics, which I'll do another taping on that. I promise. Now I'm going to start to do a little more political stuff. Thank you. I've gotten so much great feedback from people on that end. But back to our topic. Your crystal that will help you is tourmaline. Wow, beautiful stone. Tourmaline. And it says here, inner peace. Tourmaline. I think the inner peace part is saying to give you that peace of knowing, hey, I did that, to give yourself that pat on the back, to allow yourself to expand a little bit in your routines, in your social set, in your celebration of life, in your celebration of achievements. That's, this tourmaline will help you do that and give you peace with that, without feeling like, oh gosh, if I do that, then, I really could have saved that money, or maybe other people won't feel the same thing I'm feeling, and I'm all happy, but they're sad about what. Those things, we can talk ourselves out of our blessings sometimes. And this is where Spirit is saying, not you, pile number 3, not you. It's time to figure out what you want to do, where you want to do it, who you want to invite, and get it going. All right? All right, you all. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time, your energy. I appreciate your feedback, for sure, for sure. Tell me in the comments what you're thinking, and how this, how this came across to you. I will have you in my prayers. I will have you in my thoughts. I hope you have a fantastic 4th. I hope you have a wonderful full moon energy. Soak it all in, think it through, and then act it out. All right, you all. If you want to have a reading with me, I'll put the information in the description box below, and I'll talk to you real soon. Bye.